Yo, what's going on, guys? Hope you're all doing well. In today's video, by popular request, I'm going to be showing you how to get the guitar and bass tone of internet famous indie shoegaze band Julie, using only free plugins inside of Ableton. But you can recreate it in any DAW, or try recreate it with real pedals if you have. But before we get into things, I do want to mention that the best way to support the channel is by checking out my online shop, where you can get drum kits, loops, and mixing guitar tone presets, as well as other things to help make your music. And I've decided to discount my everything bundle for the next few months. And because the YouTube algorithm has not been treating me as well as it once did, I've decided to create a special discount code, algorithm20, to get 20% off site-wide. So if you want to support the channel, check it out. Really helped me out a lot. But now let's get on with the video. So first, let's start out with the guitarist Kian and what type of setup he's using. So for guitars, any Fender offset will do. Unfortunately, I haven't gotten my hands on one of those, so I'll be using my Strat today. For amps, a Fender style clean amp with a big speaker cabinet is what you want. Think Fender Bassman. The guitarist once had a modified Fender Twin Reverb as a head at one point, but clean amp, big cabinet, and you should be good. Now onto the pedal tone. So when I first started diving into this, I wasn't really expecting much, but the way they layer distortion and overdrive is just super cool and very thoughtful, and it creates this very big, nice sound. And I've done my best to recreate it here using free plugins in Ableton, and I'm going to try show it to you piece by piece. So first off, I've got a delay in the chain. I was mimicking his pedal board, which I'll show an image of here. He's got a DD7, but I realized after taking a close look and kind of listening to the tones I was getting that he probably isn't using the delay as a delay here, but more so for the hold mode that's inside the DD7. And what that is basically you can hold your foot on the pedal and it'll just sustain whatever you're doing. So I think he's using it for that, but you can try experiments. I've left it here. Next is DOD by Analog Obsession for some overdrive, and I'm kind of just using this for a very minimal gain, but more so for tone sculpting. Then that goes into a Rat, and I'm using Black by Nimbridi Audio, and everything here is around 10 o'clock, I'd say. Then another layer of overdrive to kind of tighten things up and boost us into the next signal. It's Overdriver by Analog Obsession. Then this is really the key, the special sauce, Green Russian Big Muff, and luckily Analog Obsession again has us covered with a amazing free recreation. And here everything is about 2 o'clock. Then that goes into Hybrid Reverb, which is Ableton stock reverb. I'm using it for a whole reverb sound, so that's what you can use if you are on a different DAW. Then I've got some EQ, which I wasn't really expecting much from because I was just loosely copying it from the pedal board again, but it actually does quite a bit to sculpt the tone. Then I've got Black Vibe, again by Analog Obsession. You'll notice I'm using a lot of their plugins. This is for that Fender kind of blackface amp sound. Then got that going into a 4x12 speaker cab using cabinet inside of Ableton. But you can use any IR you like or speaker loader. There's tons of free ones out there. You can go check out Tone Hunt for some cab sims. Now let's listen to the tone. Just really lush and fuzzy, perfect for that Julie sound. I'm very happy with how that turned out. Now let's move on to the bass, which is a very strong and prominent feature of Julie's music. Their bassist and vocalist, Alex, likes to use a Fender Mustang bass, but any P-style bass should do the trick, and she also likes to run that into an Ampeg SVT, which is kind of crazy because a lot of people choose to DI their bass these days, myself included. But I guess to get that huge wall of sound effect, you need to have a real amp there. The key to having a heavy distorted bass sound like this is having a mix of the clean signal with the distortion. This allows you to retain the low end that is often lost with lots of distortion in bass. Some drive and distortion pedals made specifically for bass will often feature a blend knob for this exact purpose. Here I'm just using the effect rack inside of Ableton to create a separate chain which is going into my amp sim. But for the pedal chain, I've again got Pig Pie by Analog Obsession for some fuzz. The bassist does use a bass Big Muff, but I just can't find like a plugin version of that to use. So I thought this would do, as well as that trick I just showed you. She doesn't always use this in her bass tone. It's more for specific moments, so I have this off. So for the main tone, we've got NA Black yet again for that rat sound, and this is a little bit more tame, kind of using it to get that high-end grit in the EQ. Then we've got another Overdriver by Analog Obsession, and this is just to tighten things up, because I find an overdrive after a rat kind of helps tighten it up a bit. Then we're going into this Ampeg SVT Classic plugin, and I believe this used to be available for free. I was unable to kind of see now if it still is, but if you're unable to get this specific amp sim, again, go check out Tone Hunt, and you can look at the neural amp models as well as other cab sims, because this has an 8x10 cabinet attached to it. Now, let's give a listen to the sound. Now let's hear it with that fuzz. What a powerful bass tone. Having that blend definitely helps keep the bass sounding powerful, but the distortion cuts through really nicely. Now let's hear how the bass and the guitar sound together in this little demo that I made using a loop from my Genre Loops drum kit, which is honestly my favorite way to come up with new songs. Just to jam to a loop and see what comes out to it. It's much more fun than just playing to nothing. But that's all from me for now. So if you liked the video, leave a like. If you really liked it, please consider subscribing. If you want to support the channel, please check out my online shop. Peace.